What's going on, guys? Today I have a very special video for you. We are going to be talking about SoFi Technologies stock. And this is a stock I've talked about in the past on my channel. I do still have shares of the stock and I do still love the company. So we're going to be going over today why now is a great time to get into SoFi stock with some potential things that are coming up that are going to impact SoFi's business in a very positive way. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit that sub button. Let's start by taking a quick look at SoFi's chart. So here today, not a very big move at all, only 0.19% up. And over the last 5 days, they have had an absolutely huge move of almost 10%. SoFi is one of those stocks that has the potential to pop off if the market turns, and it will ride up very quickly. But what we can see is over the last month, it's actually down almost 10%, even with that 10% upward move. Over the last 6 months, down almost 35%. And over the last year, they are down almost 70%. We can see that a year ago, SoFi was almost at $23, around $23. And they have had a very interesting trend over the last 5 years. We can see that SoFi has spiked up to around $25 and then sank back down to around $15, spiked back up to around $23, $22, spiked back down to $14, $15 range, and then spiked back up to around the $22 range. So it has gone through kind of this wave motion, and then in the last kind of pitfall, we've kind of seen the stock just keep falling back down through the floor. So it will be very interesting as the market kind of returns to normal conditions if we see this trend continue. But the business over the last year, year and a half has changed immensely for SoFi. They have grown by a lot over the last couple of years. We've seen 50% year over year moves in their user base, in their revenue. So they have a lot of things that are positive going for them. So here we have Yahoo Finance, and we have 12 analysts covering SoFi stock. And this year they're projecting minus 44 cents for their EPS. Next year they're projecting minus 26 cents for their EPS. But what's very interesting is this high estimate. So the high estimate for earnings for next year is only losing 9 cents. So this is very interesting. And what we see with a lot of these companies as they get closer and closer to profitability and then finally break through profitability is that the stock can spike up and go crazy in a very, very short amount of time. So it's very interesting that an analyst that we have here, even with all the bad things and bad projections going on with the market, that there is still an analyst that believes that SoFi can get very close to being profitable or at least at zero. So that would be very impressive, especially if SoFi comes out and starts beating a lot of its numbers, to be able to see SoFi actually break through to profitability potentially in the next year or at the very least in the next 2 years. So as I mentioned, SoFi has put up incredible numbers over the last year. They have grown their revenue by over 50% year over year. And on top of that, and even more importantly, is they have increased their total member count by 69% year over year. That is absolutely massive for a company like SoFi that is still in its growth stages, right? You want to see them putting up huge member growth. You want to see that year over year that they are getting people into their ecosystem, using their platform and continuing to grow that number of members that they have using their platforms. So one thing that will have a huge impact for SoFi's business is the repayment of student loans. Student loans are beginning payments again in December, at the end of December, 1st of January. And what that means for SoFi is obviously a lot more income coming in, a lot more revenue and EPS. But overall, the question is, will an extension take place where Joe Biden will extend the suspension of student loans? I would lean towards no. With inflation being so high, it would be likely that Joe Biden would force students to start paying down these loans in an effort to basically take money out of the economy. Obviously, this isn't good overall for the economy, but it is good in terms of helping fight off some of the inflation, because the more money that students are having to use to repay their student loans, there is less money that is going into the economy and thus driving up prices. The next big catalyst for SoFi stock is its earnings. So they are estimated to announce their earnings on November 9th of 2022. So a little over a month from now. And what we are going to see from that is going to be important for SoFi moving forward, because they've had a lot of growth over the last couple of quarters. And the question is, can they keep that up? Can they keep growing at the same pace? Member growth for a company like SoFi that's still in that growth stage is what's most important. We want to see that number to continue to grow year over year and overall bring a lot of people into their ecosystem, expose them to the products that SoFi has, and then keep them in the ecosystem spending money. That's the big thing that we want to see from SoFi. Honestly, their earnings, it's not super important. They are still a money-losing company, but we want to see them get closer and closer to making money and profitability, because especially right now with interest rates increasing and things like that, we want to see a company start turning that corner, start cutting costs, and get towards a profitable state. So personally, I do own SoFi stock. I love the stock for the long term. I think they have a lot of potential in front of them, not only in terms of the growth that they can achieve, but also I could see them as a potential buyout for a bigger bank, maybe like a JP Morgan or a Bank of America, where they could look at a stock like SoFi, see them taking market share, seeing them have a good online presence, and overall look to acquire them. So like I said, I do own the stock. I love the stock for the long term. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit that sub button. And as always, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day.